Hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. Of course, I'm Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about Black Adam. Black Adam, of course, that movie that just came out last week. It's blowing up the box office right now. It's not excuse me, it's not doing terrible. It's not doing super great, but it's not doing terrible either. Okay, it's making pretty decent numbers. Okay, so I think there's going to be a sequel for sure. Okay, it's number one again. Second week in a row. There's now has no real competition until Black Panther comes out. That's not for another 2 weeks or almost 2 weeks. Okay, before that comes out. So we'll see what happens. But apparently, it's going to do good. It's going to do good. And the reason it's going to do good is because the fans wanted it. Now, it's not a great movie. Okay, that's what I've been talking about here on these reviews. It's not a great movie, but it's not a terrible movie either. Okay, it is something different. It's kind of it harkens back to the old movies from like the 1990s, where just like check your brain at the door type thing. Of course, if you really look into it, none of this makes any kind of fucking sense. It could never happen in real life. But it's a fun popcorn movie, whatever. It's trying to be dark. Okay, but there's nothing dark about this. He kills a lot of people, but he only kills evil people, so you don't really give a fuck. You don't care about anybody that he kills. Whenever he does kill an innocent person, which he does, they don't really show it, okay, and they don't dwell on it, and they sure as fuck don't bring it up. Okay, like he blows in the beginning of the movie during the narration. Black Adam blew up an entire temple full of people. Now you cannot tell me that every single person there was an evil motherfucker. They couldn't have been. Okay, but he blew up and killed everybody. Okay, you actually see him murder the wizards that gave him his powers. You see him do that. And I'm pretty sure they were good guys. They gave him the powers because they wanted him to be the protector of the world. And then they realized, oh my God, we fucked up. It wasn't you who gave the powers to, it was your son. He gave it to you, but your son is dead. We're gonna take those powers back, and that's what they tried to do, and they couldn't. He killed them all instead, except for the Wizard Shazam. He was the only one left, and he succeeded not in killing Black Adam, but in imprisoning him for 5,000 years. And then he also wrote down the release spell right on top of the tomb, so any motherfucker could walk in there and just read it and set him free. Okay, yeah, that's the logic behind this movie. Okay, all right. So I know I'm Diego, and I'm gonna talk about Black Adam. I'm taking a break from reviewing chick flicks. Okay, and I'm gonna start talking about Black Adam here. Once I finish reviewing the Black Adam movie and discussing it here, okay, get all my thoughts out on this character that I love so well. This is the first time he's ever been depicted in live action. Then I'm gonna go back to reviewing the chick flicks again, the chick flick destruction, and the TV shows and all that crap. Because I know y'all like it. Nobody watches these videos, but I don't care. Okay, I'm putting this in for posterity. Okay, so someday in the future, when people want to talk about, I wonder what Diego thought about Black Adam, you can pull up this YouTube videos, and you'll see what I really thought about Black Adam. Okay, all right. So where we left off last time, I introduced. We were introduced to Cyclone, who was race swapped into, I don't know if she's black or mulatto or half black. I have no idea. Okay, but she's white in the comic books, all right? And we were introduced to her. She's got a genius IQ. She's a pixie. She's basically the fucking Tinkerbell of the movie. She's a young, optimistic. She wears these candy cane striped leggings, these pumps. She got frizzy red hair, which is obviously dyed. Okay, she wears green. She's this happy-go-lucky young girl. She looks like she's 20, 21 years old. Apparently she's super, super smart. She's got a genius level IQ, and she can control the wind. Yeah. So basically, she's Storm from the X-Men. Okay, she can control the cyclones, the tornadoes, and she can use that as an offensive weapon. Okay, she can throw things at you at tornado speed. Okay, but she's a nice girl. She's really sweet. She's kind. She's optimistic, and she's completely oblivious to the fact that her teammate, the Atom Smasher, has the hots for her. She's completely oblivious to that. She has no idea. When he's looking at her, the way a man looks at a woman, she has no idea that he's doing that. She just sees him as a platonic friend. He's totally friend zoned. Okay, ain't nothing gonna happen. Okay, he's just thirsting after her, and you can clearly tell, and she's just not interested in him. So either she just doesn't find him attractive, and if I was a woman, I would not find him attractive, or she's a lesbian. So either way, who gives a fuck? I don't care about this fucking third-rate C-list character from the comic book. I gotta look her up to know who the fuck she was. All right. Anyway, she's a nothing character. Okay. The other character we were introduced to was the Atom Smasher, who I just mentioned. Okay, that's Arnold Rothstein. Yes, he's Jewish. Okay, he's the son of Fonzie from Happy Days. Okay, yes, the original Adam, superhero called Adam. And I already explained in the last video that the superhero named Adam worked in the Golden Age. Okay, this is his first time portrayed in live action. He's only got a cameo though, portrayed by Henry Winkler, who played Fonzie, who played Arthur Fonzarelli, the Fonz, or Fonzie as Richie Cunningham called him. Okay, on Happy Days. That show lasted fucking forever. I remember watching when I was a kid. kid. It was supposed to take place in the 50s, but I mean, by the time they got to the early 80s episodes, you really couldn't fucking tell that this is supposed to be like 60s now. It looked like it was the fucking 80s. Like they lost track of time somehow. It merged into the fucking modern era. They forgot, like the producers of the show forgot that this show was supposed to take place in the 50s. So whatever, right? Okay, but we got Scott Baio out of it, right? Okay, anyway, and Ted McGinley, of course, was on the show, and that's why I got canceled, because he cancels every show. Watch Jump the Shark, they'll tell you. Okay, anyway, so Fonzie was the original Adam. He tells basically his grandson, hey, you take care of the suit, take care of you do what Carter says, with the Jewish accent, because he's Jewish, you do what Carter says, and you listen to him, and you stay alive, okay? Come on, say it at the bar mitzvah, that kind of thing, Mazel tov. That kind of thing, right? So he's there. He tells his grandpa he wants to make him proud. He's going to do a good job. This is his first time. He's going to lose his virginity here because he does look like a virgin, honestly, even though he's like 23 years old. Okay, he's going to try to make his grandpa proud. Okay, he's going to join the Justice Society. He was in the Justice Society, and they're going on his first mission together as a superhero team because Hawkman got them all together. And then we're introduced to Dr. Fate. Now, Dr. Fate, I'm going to tell you right now here, Dr. Fate stole the movie. Okay, if you watch any of the other YouTubers that are doing shorter reviews than me, okay, they'll all tell you the same thing. Dr. Fate stole the fucking movie. This guy was incredible. This guy was what Doctor Strange should have been in his own fucking film franchise, okay? Because Dr. Fate came first. Dr. Fate was created in the 1940s for All Star Comics. Okay, he was a team member. I think he first appeared in Flash issue number 1. Okay, back in 1941 or 1942, something like that. Okay, he's been around a long time, 80 something years. Okay, so he appeared back then. He's got mystical powers. He basically controls magic. Okay, he's like the sorcerer supreme, you could say, of the DC universe. Okay, and that helmet's what gives him his powers. Okay, you don't have to study for it. The helmet gives him his powers. He's possessed by some fucking some spirit, some mystical spirit. I forgot the name of it because I'm not a big fucking Dr. Fate a guy. Okay, like I know who the guy is, but I don't know too much about him. I know his real name's Kent Nelson, and he's been around for a long time. All right, so he's got the magical powers, basically. With the helmet gives him all of his powers. In this movie, it also allows him to see the future, okay? Now, Dr. Fate here is played by the great actor Pierce Bronson. Yes, now those of you my age who are old enough to remember a TV show when I was a little kid called Remington Steele, okay? God, you want to talk about going back in the day? Holy shit, that show. I actually never watched that show. I just remember the commercials. I remember the intro was some chick started up her own fucking detective agency, probably, but nobody would hire her because she was a woman. So she invented a fake male name so that she could get clients, so that people would hire her. They were thinking that this place is she does the case, but it's actually owned and run by a guy. You see, sexism back in the early 80s. Okay, so she came up with this fake name called Remington Steele, and she got a successful private detective agency out of it, because that was the thing back in the 80s. You had to be a private detective. Okay, you had to be like a fucking like The Equalizer or fucking Moonlighting or fucking Scarecrow and Mrs. King or fucking. Hardcastle and McCormick, like Alias Smith and Jones, Simon and Simon. I mean, the fucking list goes on. Fucking McMillan and Wife. Oh my God. Do you want to talk about a fucking TV genre that just fucking bled to death? But anyway, yes, this was big in the 80s, okay? And of course, this girl, I forgot her fucking name, but she created this private agency. She used the fake name Remington Steele so she could get some clients. She got successful, and then all of a sudden some fucking British fucking bloke showed up. Okay, some fucking limey just showed up at her office, and it turns out he is the real Remington Steele. Like, that's his real name, is Remington Steele. And like I said, I didn't watch the show, but somehow because she's using his name, his legal name, he either, I don't know if he blackmails her or if he takes over the company, but he becomes the new owner. With some legal loophole that she cannot call the agency Remington Steele when there's a real Remington Steele private detective around. Okay, so she has to forfeit the company over to this guy, this handsome British guy who just showed up, and together they go out there and they solve crimes. Okay, yeah, Remington Steele. Somehow the fucking mom from Everyone Loves Raymond, Doris something. Yeah, she fucking shows up on the show too. Like I said, I didn't watch the show. Okay, you can say I did watch the show. Okay, I watched Scarecrow, Mrs. King. I watched McMillan and Wife. I watched fucking Columbo. I watched Simon and Simon. Okay, I watched fucking Moonlighting, especially Moonlighting because that had Bruce Willis. Okay, so by watching those shows, I've already watched this one. Okay, they're all the fucking same shit. Okay, one of many One of many. They're all this fucking same shit. Will they or won't they? You know. And once they do it, that's of course when the show gets canceled. You know, because now the sexual tension is gone. All right. So like I said, I didn't watch the fucking show, but I remember him in it. And then later on, you know, after the show got canceled, he wasn't really working that much. He was doing bullshit movies. He was in Mrs. Doubtfire. He played the love interest for Sally Field's character. He played the guy that was boning fucking Robin Williams' wife. Okay, while he was pretending to be a fucking an old lady that was taking care of his own kids. They just didn't know it. Okay, and then of course he showed up again in Lawnmower Man, which is a Stephen King movie that had almost nothing to do with the Stephen King story. It's about virtual reality. Anyway, he was the doctor in there that takes a retarded guy and fucking played by Jeff Fahey and fucking gives him superpowers. He goes into the digital world. Yeah, that's crazy. And of course, early 1990s CGI. Okay, and then of course he was James Bond. That's probably where most of you remember him from. He was James Bond. He was the one after Timothy Dalton. So he did a lot of James Bond movies in the 90s. I watched a few of them. I'm not a huge James Bond fan, but I watched a few of them. But I will say this, okay, he looked a lot more like fucking James Bond than that piece of shit fucking Daniel Craig, who's over here crying, okay, and his face is about as good looking as my asshole. All right, he looks like he's been punched in the face about 600 fucking times. He does not have the classic handsome features that fucking James Bond is supposed to have. He don't look nothing like fucking Roger Moore. He has those big fucking ears. Okay, he's got two fucking lazy eyes. He's got a pug nose. I mean, that big fucking forehead. I don't give a shit you put a fucking tuxedo on him. He's still an ugly motherfucker. He has no business being James Bond and crying about his fucking dead girlfriend in every fucking movie. All right? Okay, no, I don't like him at all. You want to talk about James Bond? Okay, Roger Moore looks like James Bond. Pierce Brosnan looks like James Bond. Timothy Dalton looks like James Bond. Okay, my personal favorite was Roger Moore. That's the one I remember when I was a little kid. Okay, and of course there's Sean Connery, who was the OG, all right? But those guys look like James Bond, fucking not this Daniel fucking I'm gonna cry and wear fucking suits made of fucking spandex, okay? That fucker does not do it for me at all. I know a lot of you women like him, but let's face it, do you really like Daniel Craig as James Bond, or do you really just like James Bond? I would say you like James Bond, okay? Not necessarily the guy that's in it, okay? You got some fat fuck who in a fucking spandex fucking suit, okay, a tuxedo, okay, you're gonna fucking like his ass. Why? Because he's James Bond, okay? Has nothing to do with what he looks like, okay? Sorry, that's a rant. But anyway, Pierce Brosnan was James Bond, so you probably remember him from that. I saw some of those movies. He was actually pretty good. I think he looks like James Bond. Those movies were ridiculous. Okay, the stunts were incredible. I mean, they were, but hey, it's James Bond, okay? What is James Bond? Okay, he's got some kick-ass fucking music, some kick-ass action scenes. And the entire time that all this crazy shit is going around him, he's always got the fucking the tuxedo that looks like it just came from the cleaners. He's never sweating. He's never worried or he never gets emotional and cries about his ex-fucking girlfriend. Okay, he basically just goes out there, he grabs the fucking hot girl he's got to rescue. Okay, they end up in a fucking waterfall or in a cave or something, hiding out, you know, and she starts talking about her daddy and they end up fucking. Okay, daddy issues. He acts like he cares what the fuck she's saying so that he can seem fucking endearing. They end up fucking, and the rest of the movie he's fucking got her by the hand and they're being chased by terrorists, you know, and then explosions and fucking the bad guy, hey, you cannot defeat me. He gets defeated. All right, and then the next movie rinse and repeats. That was the same fucking shit, but it works. All right. So anyway, yes, Pierce Brosnan was a part of that James Bond club, and I think he did a great job. Okay, the only thing, he's been getting a lot of complaints lately. Not really complaints, but a lot of people have been criticizing his wife. If you look at his wife, I don't know her fucking name, but Pierce Brosnan's wife is a heavy duty, if you know what I mean. Okay, we're talking maximum density, and she used to be a model. She was not like that when they first got married. Okay, but right now, let's just say she don't look good in the two-piece. Okay, and she's been getting a lot of criticism, and now they're calling him gay. Maybe he might be gay because you know, his wife doesn't really look like the supermodel she used to be. Okay, they're calling it the Hugh Jackman syndrome. Okay, and that's where the husband is a shitload better looking than the wife. Okay, it's supposed to be the other way around. Okay, and so once that happens, okay, it's obvious she's a beard. Okay, which means that the husband is really gay. Okay, but they can't promote themselves that way, so they have to because they'll lose their acting jobs. Yeah, the LGBT community will love them if they come out, but the straight guys that we're watching, or the straight women that we're watching, especially the straight women, will quit watching if they feel they've been bamboozled all these years. Okay, I know LGBTQ is a very powerful voice in Hollywood. Okay, have been for a very long time. Okay, but they're not a powerful voice in real life. And what I mean by that is they do not speak for the rest of the fucking country, okay? I don't want to fucking see a fucking James Bond movie where he ends up making out with a fucking dude, okay? Because representation. That's not my James Bond. I will quit watching James Bond forever if that ever fucking happens, okay? You see what I mean? It's nothing to do with being homophobic. No, it's not. It's just that's not the character, okay? You see what I mean? So anyway, Moving right along, he plays Dr. Fate here, Kent Nelson. He's an older man, distinguished. He's got the British accent, of course. He's been driven to Hawkman's mansion, which is in St. Roch, Louisiana. It's like basically the X-Men school. Okay, they've even got a fucking Thanagarian fucking jet hidden underneath the property. It opens up like mechanically, just like the X-Men Quinjet does in the X-Men movies. It comes out of the fucking the basketball court, or whatever, the tennis court, whatever. Well, he's got that too. So they ripped that off. Okay, so he goes over there. He's being driven there, and then whenever he touches the helmet, he can see the future. Okay, so he can tell that on his way to the fucking Hawkman's house, he knows that Hawkman's gonna die. He knows they're gonna be involved in a big battle with some superhuman guy up in the air. Okay, and they might not necessarily win. Okay, so he already sees all that, and it's kind of a nightmare for him. But obviously, Pierce Bronson is an older man now. Okay, he's probably in his 70s, I want to guess. Okay, he's been around, like I said, he's been around since I was a little kid. All right, and I mean, James Bond, that was in the 90s. Okay, so so he's there. Okay, very distinguished. Okay, very classy guy. He brings a lot of gravitas, and I like it when these crazy fucking popcorn movies do that. Whenever they bring in like a serious, distinguished actor, it elevates the movie. Okay, because if you're a serious, distinguished actor, that means you've got a reputation for being really good. Okay, you've been around the block. Okay, and you add a sense of realism and a sense of dignity to whatever the fuck you're doing. It's kind of like those Halloween movies. I'm not talking about the new ones. Okay, I'm talking about the old ones. Okay, the one that John Carpenter did in 1978. Okay, yes, it's a slasher flick. It's a slasher flick, okay? Jamie Lee Curtis, she only got the job because of her mom and dad. Her mom was the fucking woman that got killed in Psycho, and her dad is Tony Curtis, okay? John Carpenter and all that kind of shit, right? Okay, but it was low budget. It started off the slasher flick movie, but what gave the movie some legitimacy amongst the older crowd, amongst the people that were not fucking teenagers, was Donald Pleasence, who played Dr. Loomis in that movie. Yes, that name was ripped off from fucking Psycho, okay? But Dr. Loomis, okay, was played by Donald Pleasence. Donald Pleasence had a very distinguished career in Hollywood. He'd been in a lot of movies. He was fucking the Blofeld, okay, in the James Bond movies with Sean Connery. Okay, I think it was Sean Connery. Yeah. Okay. So he had a long, distinguished career. I mean, he was in the Bible movie. I mean, he played Satan in the Bible movie, trying to tempt Jesus. Okay. So there was a lot. He'd done a lot of stuff. Okay. He was actually a prisoner of war in real life during World War II. He had a very long, distinguished career in Broadway and in music. Okay. So if Donald Pleasence in your movie, this ain't your fucking fucking low budget fucking slasher flick for fucking teenagers and about sex and nudity. That's not what it is. When you put Donald Pleasence in the movie, it means something. It elevates the movie, and that's what Pierce Bronson is doing to this movie. He's elevating it. It's not just a popcorn flick, another fucking vehicle for Dwayne Johnson. Okay, well, without Kevin Hart this time. It's not one of those fucking check your brain at the door type things. By putting Pierce Bronson in there, I was, they got some legitimacy. They got a serious actor in here, because Pierce Bronson is he's done some cheesy movies before, like I said, but people respect him. Okay, and the character that he plays is a very serious. He's got some levity too, but he's not cold-hearted or nothing like that. He's got a lot of empathy, actually, but he brings a seriousness, a gravitas. An older, distinguished gentleman on the team, you can look up to him. You can ask him for advice. He's been around the block. Okay, he's smart. He knows what he's doing. Okay, there's a sense of responsibility there. These kids are not just going to go fight without anyone to rely on to lead them. No, they're going in with a fucking guy who knows his shit. Okay, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing, okay, to have someone like that in there. Someone who's very smart, very emphatic, okay, has been in countless battles, okay, so he knows what the fuck he's doing. And he's very proper and distinguished. He's very well dressed. He's got the Ascot. He's got the fucking yellow vest with the blue shirt, Oxford shirt underneath. I mean, he's got the beard, fucking Pierce Bronson is the fucking bomb. He's the guy. He's a guy. Very, very, very awesome guy, dude. Very awesome guy. And like I said, he steals the show. He really does. We have not seen a character like him. Okay, Benedict Cumberbatch on his Doctor Strange movies, he speaks with that accent that he got from watching fucking CNN and Fox News, okay, because that's where the American accent comes from. It comes from Anchorman on news, okay, so when he watches American news, he thinks that's the way all Americans speak. They don't speak like me, they speak like fucking Tom Brokaw, okay, or fucking Brian Seltzer, or that kind of fucking shit. So he imitates that, and that's why Doctor Strange sounds like he should be fucking doing the news on CNN. He does not sound like a fucking mystic sorcerer. That's why. Okay, well, we don't have that problem with Pierce Bronson's Dr. Fate. He's British. He's got the British accent. He brings the gravitas. Hearing him speak is like cool. All right, it's like, okay, it's not just your ordinary fucking magic guy. This guy's fucking got some depths to him, which I thought was really cool. His presence is incredible. All right. So that's going on here, okay? He can see the future, and like I said, he sees that Hawkman's gonna die, okay? And then of course we're introduced to Hawkman as well. Now he was already talking to Viola Davis, okay? It's Amanda Waller, okay? Hawkman is gonna be the team leader of this little group here of four members, okay? It is Hawkman's ship that they're gonna take. It's the Thanagarian ship, which means it comes from the planet Thanagar. Okay, which is supposed to mean that Hawkman's an alien, but Hawkman doesn't seem to me like he's playing the alien Qatar Hall. It looks to me like he's playing the human Carter Hall because they're calling him Carter Hall. Okay, so that would mean that he is playing the original Hawkman from the Golden Age, from the 1940s, and that Hawkman was an archaeologist slash museum curator. He collected all these old artifacts from ancient Egypt, especially. Okay, and he found, or he realized that he was the reincarnation of one of the pharaohs of ancient Egypt. Prince Khufu or Emperor Khufu, King Khufu, whatever. So every time Khufu dies, he's reincarnated in a different human body. And right now, he's reincarnated into the body of Carter Hall, the museum curator slash archaeologist, okay? And he has this nth metal that he uses that allows him to fly with these artificial wings that he created or found. And he's got this mace that he carries with him. So basically, he's got no real superpowers. His flyability comes from the wings, okay, and from the nth metal that he wears, okay? And then he's got this fucking mace that he fucking hits people with. That's his powers. Obviously, he's a lot more powerful in this movie. In this movie, we do see him pick up a car and throw it a big distance, okay? And we see him taking punches from fucking Black Adam. And a normal human taking a punch from Black Adam would get turned into fucking spaghetti sauce real fucking fast. That does not happen in this movie. I'm sure some of it is the armor protecting him, but there are times where he gets fucking hit. Okay, where no armor is gonna fucking save you from that. And he should have gone down, but he didn't. Okay, he's still alive, still walking around, no broken bones or nothing, no bruises, nothing, because it's the fucking movie, right? But anyway, so he's Carter Hall. He's very distinguished, he's well dressed. Obviously, he's super fucking rich. He's got the Thanagarian ship. Now he tells the teammates when they're walking towards the ship, very X-Men style, okay, that the ship is made of nth metal, the same metal his wings are made of. Okay, so it's indestructible. So it's the second fake metal, magical metal we've been introduced to. We're already introduced to Eternium, which is what the crown of Sabak is made out of, and apparently it's the only thing that can hurt Black Adam. Okay, so they get onto their nth metal spaceship or starship, whatever the fuck it is, and they're talking. They're like, "Hey, I don't even have a passport." That's what fucking Adam's saying. I don't even have a passport. He's like, and Dr. Strange said, "We don't need a passport. We are the Justice Society of America," you know, which is weird that they call it the Justice Society of America. Actually, I think they just called it the Justice Society. Several years ago, they got rid of the America. Okay, now Superman used to stand for Truth, Justice, and the American Way. They got rid of that. They don't refer to him as the American Way anymore. He just stands for Better Tomorrow now. Because, you know, America fucking sucks. That's why. Okay, so they got rid of they don't call it the Justice League of America anymore, and they haven't done that for a long time. They just call it the Justice League now. Hence, the 2017 movie Justice League was just called Justice League. It was not called Justice League of America, and the reason is because Hollywood does not, Warner Brothers does not want to promote America. America is a piece of shit fucking country. Okay, and none of the other fucking no one from any other country ever wants to come here. So because we're disgusted by our own fucking country, we're not going to promote our own country. Okay, we're going to call it just the Justice League. Okay, that way it can sell better in those fucking countries where they fucking kill homosexuals. Okay, they can sell better over there, and y'all know what country I'm talking about. Okay, also the Justice Society, they did the same thing. I think they got rid of the America, so now it's just called Justice Society instead of Justice Society of America, which is what it's supposed to be called. All right. So they get in the ship there and they fly away. They're, like I said, fucking Adam Smash is all excited. It's his first time on a mission, okay? And of course, he's got the hots for fucking Cyclone. He's fucking eyeballing her. You know, he's looking at her fucking ass like he wants to fucking eat it. All right. And they go, "This is gonna be fun," all right? Okay. Now, Viola Davis, Amanda Waller does tell him that this guy has nearly godlike power, okay? Magical power. Okay, and of course, Hawkman tells Amanda Waller that if you find a cell that can hold him, we will bring him in. All right, and he says this is going to be fun. That's what Hawkman says. All right. So they get there and they get on the ship and they fly away. The next segue is to Black Adam. So Black Adam wakes up. He wakes up in Amon's room. Okay, that's a teenage boy. Okay, that's his mother's the one who's driving the whole plot of this movie. Okay, so he wakes up in some fucking teenage boy's room. Even though they're in Kahndaq, he's got nothing but posters of fucking superheroes on his wall. He's got Batman up there, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Superman, The Flash. They're all up on his room. Okay, because he reads a lot of comic books, DC comics. He reads a lot of comic books. Okay, we already saw that when he dropped his bag. Another comic books came out. All right. Now he wakes up there in Amon's room. He heals himself with his own fucking lightning. Now, why didn't he fucking do that before? I don't know. But he was injured in the side by some Eternium. Okay, that's why he got knocked unconscious and he fell to the ground. That's why they picked him up and took him back to his room, to Amon's room. He wakes up and he immediately heals himself. That's the first thing he does. He looks around and he sees Amon staring at him, trying to talk to him, because Amon does not shut up. He looks like he's maybe 13 or 14 years old. Okay. He demands Amon to move so he can leave, and Amon refuses to move. He just starts talking. Okay. Like I said, and then of course Black Adam looks in the mirror and he sees himself. Okay, so they didn't have mirrors back in ancient Egypt. Okay, so he sees what he's become. He sees what he looks like. All right, he does not recognize. He looks out the window. He does not recognize Kahndaq. He does. I do not know this place. He's like, "You're home. This is your home. This is Kahndaq." You know, but it's been 5,000 years. So now he realizes it's 5,000 years later. He's like, "Then my home is gone." Now he's very stoic. The Rock plays Black Adam, very stoic, very unemotional, just angry and serious. You know, and very to the point and direct. Okay, which is kind of cool to play a character that way because we don't get many characters like that. Okay, but bottom line, when push comes to shove, he will pussy down. Okay, he will. Now that kind of bothers me. Is if he kept this throughout the whole movie, it would have been cool. But he breaks down. He starts laughing. He starts making not now, but later on he does. He'll start smiling more. He'll start fucking making compliments to people and shit. And that to me, that has never been Black Adam. All right, but anyway, unless he was being sinister. Okay, so that goes on. Okay, Amon keeps talking about his powers. Okay, his room is covered with superheroes, like I said. Okay, he doesn't recognize Kahndaq. Okay, so he leaves. He learns that he's been gone for 5,000 years. Okay, and of course his Black Adam suit is very dirty. Okay, it should be shiny and polished, you know, which it will be later on, but right now it's very dirty. The lightning bolt in his chest is not very bright. It's just like a little bit of orange flickering out from the center of it. It looks really bad. Okay, no cape either. Okay. Adriana arrives. Now that's Amon's mother. She's the Egyptologist professor that's not working right now. Okay, she's the one that freed Black Adam in the last video that I did. Okay, she freed him from his cell, his tomb. Okay, because she can speak ancient Kahndaq and she can read it too, and nobody else can. Okay, that's why Intergang, the evil people that took over her country, have been there for 27 years looking for the Crown Sabak. All she had to do was walk right in there, read the directions on the wall, and she found it within 5 minutes. There it was, unguarded, just floating in the air, and in a well-lit cavern where anybody could see it. All right, so Adriana arrives, and Kareem, her brother, that's the fat fuck, funny guy with the curly hair that thinks that women like him because he's got the ball spot, and he likes to listen to fucking that player song, "Baby Come Back." All right, yeah, that motherfucker. He's just sitting there with his big fat ass, laying back on the lazy boy, watching fucking The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, starring Clint Eastwood, one of those spaghetti western movies from the 1960s. Now, if you remember, Clint Eastwood started his career doing low-budget sci-fi movies like Invasion of the Body Snatcher. He had a cameo in that. Okay, and then he fucking did a TV show called Rawhide, which was western. When that show got canceled, he had to go to Italy to continue working in westerns over there. They found out it was cheaper to make westerns in Italy than it was to make them in the United States. Okay, so he became famous over there because of The Good, Bad, and the Ugly and all that kind of shit that he did over there. The Man with No Name. And then he came back to fucking America after that, a superstar because of those movies. And then he started doing Dirty Harry. Okay, and that's when his career really, really took off, after he started doing Dirty Harry. He also did some other stuff. He did like fucking The Dirty Dozen and shit like that. He'd done some other movies, but Dirty Harry's what really catapulted him to superstardom. Okay, which he enjoys to this very day. Although now, because he's so old, yeah, I did see that last movie he did where he's the horse ranch guy. I forgot the name of it though. But he's like in his 90s now. But he's still directing. He's still acting. Go figure, man. He just had a movie that came out last year. I know nobody saw it. I forgot the name of it. That's the impression it made on me. But he goes to Mexico with some Mexican kid. Anyway, so he's still around. Yeah, Clint Eastwood, good old Clint Eastwood. He was actually the mayor of some fucking city too in LA. But anyway, okay, so yeah, Clint Eastwood. So they're watching that. Okay, and of course, like those spaghetti westerns were made by Sergio Leone. Okay, and one of the things that he did, Sergio Leone, is he had that. Which is a staple of a spaghetti western. Okay, whenever you hear that, that means there's about to be a gunfight. Okay, who can draw quicker? Okay, well that's what they watch. That's what Kareem is watching when Black Adam crashes through the wall. Okay, and he sees that. We spent a good 3 or 4 seconds just on that scene, him watching Clint Eastwood do it, about to have his gun ready on his holster, about to draw it. With the with that. So Black Adam sees that and he decides that he's going to adopt that from now on, or we get it later on. Okay, the gunslinger trope. All right, so he sees that there. Okay, it crashes through the wall. Okay, she arrives, blah, blah. Okay, and I can't understand why everyone's just chilling at home right now when Intergang is actively looking for her right now. They know where she lives. I think because Ishmael was her friend, or she thought that was her friend, okay? But he's not. So they know where she lives. They know where her son lives. They know where he lives, where Kareem lives, okay? So the first place they're going to go is her house. So why the fuck are they all just chilling there? Fucking Kareem's sitting there on the fucking lazy boy with the fucking crown of sabak on his head, and nothing's fucking happening. He's just sitting there chilling, eating his stuff in his fat ass, and watching fucking the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, meanwhile, Adriana is pleading, she's pleading with Black Adam to fucking become the champion of Kahndaq. I guess that's his fate. He's supposed to do that, okay? Okay, she grabs the crown off of her brother's head and tries to read it, okay? Because she, like I said, she's the only person in the whole fucking country that can read Ancient Kahndaq, okay? Black Adam refuses Amon, okay? He refuses Amon as far as becoming the champion for Kahndaq, okay? The kid is pestering, Amon keeps pestering him to become the country's champion, okay? And like I said, Black Adam walks to the wall, he notices the spaghetti western, he destroys the TV with his fucking lightning bolt and says, magic. You know, he realized, and we find out now why he did not kill Adriana like he killed all the other fucking Intergang soldiers that were in his tomb when he woke up. It's because she's the one that released him. He knows that she is the one that freed him. Therefore, he spared her life. When that boulder fell on her head, he fucking blasted the boulder away. That's why she's still alive. That's why he did not kill her. Is because she's the one that freed him. So now we know why he killed everybody else except for her and Ishmael. Okay. Okay. He tells her that he saw. That her son needs to learn violence. So they have a discussion about his father needs to teach him violence, you know, and she's like, no, I'm not going to teach my son violence. I'm not going to teach him how to defend himself. I'm not going to teach him any of that shit. When he grows up, he's going to marry a beautiful woman who's going to grab a big fucking black dildo and stuff it up his ass, and he's going to fucking like it. That's how my son is going to be raised. Black Adam agrees, of course, because, you know, Hollywood. Okay, anyway, so that's going on here. Okay, basically she's pleading for him to fucking get rid of Intergang for her because they conquered the country of Kahndaq. He refuses to do it. Okay, and then he leaves. He just fucking flies away. Amon, he sneaks out. He's got this hidden chute from his room that can go into the hallway of the building, the apartment building that they live in. So he sneaks through this hidden chute that he has, okay, from his room, and he runs over to Black Adam. He's running down the stairs while Black Adam is floating down the center of the stairway, and he's pleading with Black Adam. He's pleading with him. He's like, you know, you need a catchphrase, you know, to stay and change his costume. He needs to change his costume. You need a catchphrase. Basically trying to, he's a superhero fixer-upper, okay? He says, you could be famous, you know? Now, Black Adam notices outside there's this huge statue of someone who looks kind of like him. Okay, you see the big bald head, the fucking big fucking lightning bolt in their chest. So he decides to fly over to that, or float over to that, okay? And when he does that, he exposes himself to the public. Everyone can see a guy floating out of a fucking apartment building and going straight towards this huge statue that's in the town square of Kahndaq. Now, is Kahndaq a country or is it just a fucking little city, a little town? I don't fucking know. It looks like a fucking movie set. How is a fucking movie set size country a country? But anyway, okay, so meanwhile, he flies over to that the statue. The JSA, they discuss their plan and what they're going to do when they get there, okay, to take down Black Adam. That's what Hawkman and Dr. Fate are talking about, okay, and what their plan is, they're going to have to trick Black Adam into saying the word Shazam. That will automatically turn him back to a normal human, and then they can catch him. So that's their plan, okay? All right, I'm going to stop my review right here, and I'll be back shortly to continue my review and discussion of Black Adam. Thank you for watching this long, and I'll see you soon on the next one.